All right, today we're going to be looking at the song Come Together by the Beatles. There's not a lot going on here, but it is a lot of fun to play. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. We're going to be in the key of D for this thing. And what we're going to do is we're going to come up to the 10th fret, power chord right up there. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off with this little riff. We're going to play the 10th fret of the 6th string. We're going to play that twice. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the 10th fret of the 5th string, and we're going to do a hammer-on from 10 to 12 with our 1st and 3rd fingers. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add on the 10th fret of the 4th string while we're playing the 12th fret of the 3rd string. So it sounds like this. Now I have a tendency of kind of palm muting that first note a little bit just to kind of clean it up. You don't have to do that, but it sounds kind of nice because it's not so loud. And you can bring it down a little bit. Because if you listen to it, really, the studio version of this song, the bass is actually louder than the guitar, it seems. So you're kind of in the background there. Can you do that 4 times? And then we move into this part. We're going to go like this. So just straight, we're going to do 2 Ds, D power chords. And then we're going to add our pinky on the 14th fret of the 5th string, okay? Which is like an add 6 or a D6, we call that. It's a blues thing. You'll hear that a lot in shuffles. That kind of thing. So we're going... And really, the big thing there is that you're not trying to get where it's all ringing out. You're kind of get a... So I'm playing it twice, and you'll notice how my fingers are picking up. See that? And then when I go over here, I don't stop in between, but I do in between those two. So it's... And when I stop, what I'm doing is I'm letting off just a little bit. I'm letting the pressure off, and I'm actually touching with my right hand as well to create that pause. And that's what you're going to be doing while he's singing. And then you're just going to drop down. You're going to do the exact same thing over 5, over the A. You go to G and you hold it, and that brings us either back to the verse or to the chorus. If we go to the verse, we're going right back into that, starting all over. If we go into the chorus, come together, right? When we go into that, what we're going to do is move up to the B chord, which is the 7th fret of the 6th string. And that's how that goes. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you're back on. And you do all that same stuff again. Now, when you're playing these power chords and stuff like that, you can use 2 fingers when you play a power chord down here using your 3rd and your pinky. Or you can just use 1 finger. You don't have to use your pinky at all if you don't want to. It doesn't really make any difference. The most important thing is which way is most comfortable for you. So if you play the chorus, you know, going with just these 2 fingers, that's fine. If you want to use all 3 of these, that's fine. The only difference is are you going to strum 2 strings or are you going to strum 3 strings? And that's entirely up to you. Okay, so that's what we're going to work on there. Now we go through that whole thing again. We go into the little solo section, the keyboard, we just keep doing the same. Then we drop down. The only difference is when we come down here, we're going to stay twice as long as we normally do when we're doing like the pre-chorus. When we're in the solo, you stay there for twice as long. And then that's it. That's what you do. And then it goes back to the... And we're back on the verse again. So the difference, though, is when it gets to the very last verse, I think, this is what it sounds like to me, but when you get to the very last verse, and then all of that stuff at the end, the come together, all that stuff, it's like it's like he's changing it up a little bit. So what I did, and it's not, you know, he kind of changes it. George Harrison kind of changes it up. Well, it's either George or John, but changes it up a little bit. So what I'm doing in this demo is I'm going, and I'm adding that. So I'm playing just like the intro of the song, that thing, but you got to throw it in kind of quick. Now, an easy way to do that so it's not hard for you to finger is just bar over all three of these top strings, and when you go, you can just do a hammer on, and then do that 10, and then just head right back to your power chord. You wouldn't have to lift this finger up. So when I was making the demo for this, I recorded, you know, 2 different rhythm tracks, and one track I actually physically move, and the other track I just stayed there. You know, they sound subtly different, but I play them both in the demo track. So I think whichever way, again, is easier for you, but that is your song.